I would like to introduce you to John Metcalf. So handing over to you, John, you're going to get us started tonight. John's going to be, with his permaculture background, he's going to be talking to us all about the soil. So over to you, John.
Thank you, Vicky. Welcome, everybody. It's an honor to be here among, these other experts, and I'm really looking forward to what they've got to say. We've got a packed house tonight, so I will make it as concise as I possibly can. So I'm going to share my screen, as I usually do. And I've got a little presentation for you guys. Bear with me while I've literally just moved into my new house, so it's all a bit of a mess at the moment.
We can see that. Thanks,
Excellent.
John.
So, brilliant. Thank you, Vicky. So, regenerative growing practices, a holistic solution to glyphosate. So, many of you may know how dangerous and toxic glyphosate is, and it might seem a bit doom and gloomy, but I've got to give you some good news. Nature is amazing. It can remediate absolutely anything. And glyphosate is one of these things that we can actually heal with the soil, with microbes, and with a bit of creativity from us. And we've also got to have a lot of trust and faith in the process. So I'm going to give you some facts. Glyphosate inhibits the growth patterns, natural immunological function, and overall health of the soil and plants. It prevents amino acid production in plants, which is the building blocks of life. Farmers who use glyphosate also have to use fertilizers, as glyphosate prevents nutrient cycling. Glyphosate negatively affects all living organisms in the soil and the ecosystem. The excess runoff permeates into groundwater, into our waterways, affecting all aquatic life. Eventually, it goes down into the sea as well and causes things, acidifies the oceans. So glyphosate in the form of Roundup is used by millions of people around the world as a weed killer. You might know someone who's used it. It gets sold in all supermarkets. So it's everywhere. Big ag funding prevents mainstream research and investigation into the effects of these products on plant health and soil health. Farmers around the world are held to ransom by the use of glyphosate, as they don't have access to an alternative until now. So the more that farmers rely on subsidies by the UK government and chemical ag, and the more they are priced out by supermarkets, the less empowered they can be to seek an alternative. So it's up to us. Farmers also need to see evidence of regenerative farming practices before they will invest in an alternative. So what is the alternative? How can farmers make the transition? How can we heal the land? As with everything in life, we only need to look to nature for the solutions. She will give us deep insight, inspiration, and wisdom. So what is regenerative growing or agriculture? So it mimics nature. It partners with nature. It is in rhythm with the cycles of nature. It is about giving as well as receiving. It is focused on healing the soil and ourselves. It's about rebuilding the soil microbiome. It's about putting people before profit. It's what our ancestors used to practice hundreds of years ago. It's a slow process, so patience and trust are essential. Nature is slow, but we can help rebalance her. So this regeneration comes in a few different stages. We have remediation, restoration, and regeneration, but they all begin with re-mind setting. So what are some of the solutions that farmers and growers alike can use to heal their soils? And what are the practices they can use to maintain their yields and increase profits without glyphosate, other pesticides and fertilizers? So let's start with remediation. Microbes are the key to remediating the soils. Mushrooms such as pearl oyster and turkey tail are able to decompose glyphosate. Aggressive strains of bacteria such as Acromobacter can degrade glyphosate in weeks, which is amazing. As more independent research and testing is done, there seems to be a number of microbiological organisms that can remediate soil and plants from glyphosate. These microbes extract, degrade, filtrate, volatilize, and stabilize toxins and chemicals such as glyphosate. The health of the soil biome is directly related to the health of our gut biome. The soil is like the stomach for the plants. If we can heal these together, it will even transform the way we feel, think, and act. And I'm sure Sean can tell you more about that. So the next stage is restoration. So we not only need to remediate the glyphosate from the land, we also need to reintroduce the bacteria, fungi, nutrients, and energy. We can look to and replicate natural ecosystems and mimic them to create healthy, abundant, resilient, and biodiverse growing spaces. To restore the soils that have been degraded for nearly a century now, we need to think and act holistically. The soil, just like our bodies, is a living ecosystem. So we need to bring back the natural biology, chemistry, and electrical energy. So this can be done by restoring the soil structure, restoring the microbiology, return to polyculture growing systems, creating biodiversity and nutrient availability, increasing the soil organic matter, which will increase energy, reintroduce mycelium networks. These are crucial to plant health. So once we remediate and restore the soils, we can start using techniques and methods to redesign how the agricultural systems operate. Regeneration. We can use practices like permaculture, biodynamics, and natural farming in collaboration to heal, redesign, and create new ways of thinking and doing. Frameworks, methodologies, age-old wisdom from around the world that are all based upon connection and respect to nature, and realizing we are an integral and fundamental part of it. Remindsetting, and this is where I believe we really need to begin. So our farms used to be the center of the community. Now many farmers are overworked, underpaid, and have no one to pass their legacy on to. So what can we do to bring the farm back to the community? As consumers and citizens, we can reach out to farmers, show our support, and get involved in creating a community around the farm, gradually helping them to transition to regenerative practices. There are farmers out there that will give, loan, or sell their land to you. And I know people who have actually done this. We can show farmers that it actually works. My teacher of permaculture and soil improved his soil so much in a very dry and hot area in America that local farmers started to notice, and some of them actually became his students. We can start where we are and spread out into the community. The likelihood is that Roundup is probably being used near you. But in the UK, there's over 2.5 million acres of gardens and allotments. So there's a big opportunity to be able to create change. All of this is possible when we partner with nature. We have an incredible opportunity here to transform our soil, animal and human health, society, and create a new paradigm. the power lay in your hands. So that's kind of it for my presentation. I'm not sure if I've hit those 20 minutes, but yeah, I'd just like to say that this is, this is a real, we were talking before you guys got on, and this needs to, we can't just do this through one way. We need to have a multi-pronged attack. And really, this is about solutions focused. So rather than looking at all the problems and getting overwhelmed and feeling the fear, which I felt and I still do feel, if we just look to nature and we look to people around the world that are actually doing this and proving this can actually work, we only need to kind of reach out to our community, start forming these connections. Because if you're trying to, and I've done this before as well, if you're trying to tell people to stop doing something, they probably won't stop doing it. But if you show them an alternative, they're far more likely to want to kind of jump on board. And our whole way of life is so full of toxins. Glyphosate is obviously a big one, but it's just one of them. But in my mind, if we can create alternatives, people are going to look at it and think that's a much healthier way to be. It's a much healthier way to grow food, or to be able to actually communicate with people. So this is really essential. So I'm here to kind of answer questions at the end of it. I'm here to support people, and I want to be part of it, and I really hope that you can too. So thank you very much for listening. I know it's been a little bit short, but I'll hand it back to Vicky, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Thanks, John. That was really interesting. And I didn't know 2.5 million acres of garden and allotments. That's a lot.
Amazing, isn't it?
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
But you're right that so many gardeners and allotment holders, I see it in my gardening groups, that they all use it and they're like, don't worry, it's out of the earth within a month or so. And they just believe this kind of thing. But you filled us with lots of hope there. And like you say, it's just having lots of different alternatives and knowing what to do that then empowers us to enable us to do it.
And the other thing is, it's only been the last 100 years that we've been growing with these toxic chemicals. I mean, we've been growing for thousands, if not millions of years, using just our hands.
Yeah.
So, and I know that since I've been doing this, since I've been eating food that I've grown, my health has just improved and improved. And as Sean will probably, my mental state has improved.
Yeah.
So we've got such a great opportunity, and I really believe we can transform everything, so thank you very much.